Animation. Only the part of 1/3 of the Earth. The country's flags are in the blue space on top of it.
The Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction was adopted on 18 March 2015 at the 3rd UN World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in Sendai, Japan. It was endorsed 3 months later by the UN General Assembly.
A high-rise building with colorless or gray flags on top of it, 1/3 of the Earth and figures of people at the background.
The Sendai Framework is a call to action over the next 15 years to make the world a safer place and to reduce the risk of man-made and natural hazards.
A wavy sea green hills it to coast a few palm trees and sheds. Way behind, a metropole with skyscrapers. It gets dark with the rain. From a volcano, some lava pour down to a green valley, a tornado in a different place.
It is designed specifically to achieve the substantial reduction of disaster risk and losses in lives, livelihoods and health.
Figures of people are falling down from a demolishing bridge. People and vehicles are crossing the bridge safely after it rebuilt it, more durable.
Preventing new and emerging risk and reducing existing risk is essential to any substantial reduction in disaster losses.
The bungalows rising on top of the wooden beams, cows on the grass, trees, a river, a metropole with a drawbridge, and skyscrapers on the background.
It has 4 main priorities.
Metropole at the night. A warning red light on the top of the skyscraper in the night. Some warning signs related to kinds of disaster predictions.
Priority 1. Understanding disaster risk is about ensuring that policies and practices for disaster risk management are based on a clear understanding of vulnerability and exposure to hazards. Priority 2.
A figure of person looking to a hazard map.
Strengthening disaster risk governance means having a clear strategy, strong institutions, laws and budget to ensure the efficient management of disaster risk. Priority 3.
Hospital building.
Investing in disaster risk reduction for resilience includes public and private investment in measures which will prevent and reduce losses.
A school and a factory.
Priority 4. The importance of disaster preparedness and building back better after a disaster strikes. The Sendai Framework sets out 7 targets to measure progress in achieving a substantial reduction of disaster risk. Target 1. To substantially reduce global disaster mortality by 2030.
Buildings, figures of people, a volcano, and a palm tree on the earth. Buildings were destroyed. The newspaper headlines shown that 700,000 people had been dead.
Between 2005 and 2015, over 700,000 people around the world lost their lives from disasters. Target 2. To substantially reduce the number of affected people globally by 2030. In the last 10 years, over 1.4 million people were injured and 24 million have been made homeless. Target 3. Reduce direct disaster economic loss in relation to GDP.
The symbols of currency such as dollar, euro, and yuan coins and bills and a sack of money.
$1 invested in resilient infrastructure can save $7 or more in response and recovery costs.
A substructure map.
Target 4. Reduce damage to infrastructure and disruption to basic infrastructure.
Transmitters at the different parts of the earth. The interaction among them shown with white broken lines.
The Sendai Framework also sets targets for increasing the number of countries with disaster risk reduction strategies, increasing international cooperation to developing countries, and substantially increasing public access to early warning systems. The Sendai Framework is a critical part of the post-2015 development agenda. It supports the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and the Climate Change Agreement.
The figures of people with various colors and race.
Everyone has a stake in disaster risk reduction. Each state has the primary responsibility, but all citizens need to be engaged and risk-informed. Together, we can all make a difference.
The logo of UNISDR. 2 olive branches surrounded the earth, which is sliced in 8 pieces like a pie. UNSIDR is written next to it. The United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction is written under the logo. On the bottom, 4 joint rectangles in green, vermilion, purple, and dark red.